Greetings everyone, and welcome back to Luca Sprues.
We are once again back after a short intermission of about a week.
Interlude, so to speak.
I think I was working on the interior.
I think I've lost my words.
I think I might grab something a bit more tan for these guys.
How do you dry brush something if the paint's wet? Says the noob.
You dry it on something like this, so like it won't flow in between the gaps anymore. It'll only go on like the raised areas.
You know what? I want to check a bit of thinned paint in this and see what it looks like.
Ooh. After cleaning my brush quite easily in a bit of water.
Ooh, I see what you've done there.
That is his kind of skin done.
So, I've forgotten what I was doing.
I think you were fixing up with desert yellow and you were going to change to a different colour.
I was going to change to... What colour did we do underneath for our chassis?
Am
I flipping yours?
Well, I just did black. I think yours is looking good.
Let's leave it then. Okay,
Yeah.
So, I don't want to overcomplicate the sitch.
Definitely not.
I want to redo my seats.
That's
So,
right. So
I need... What colour do you use? Buff.
I ended up using khaki drab.
Khaki drab.
That's olive drab. Yes, this stuff.
Snarky khaki drab.
Exactly.
I'm going to go hard on the khaki drab.
This will be interesting. You're going to do it with the airbrush.
Yeah, I'm going mental with it.
Wow. Let's see how his khaki drab seats turn out with the airbrush.
The cable's all over the shop here.
Literally.
What I need is slightly narrower beam.
They are now looking like they've been out in the sun. Now I've got to pick the hair colours for my guys. I reckon I'll go blonde for one guy, and for a bit of contrast, I will go flat earth for the other.
I do believe.
So, I'm going to use a dark dry brushing technique for this guy. For his beard. There we go. Nice. Done a very precise job there.
The old airbrush. What else can I do with this colour before I get rid?
Well, I suppose I've used it on my figures' pants and, well, not pants, but their gloves and their shoes. Alright, so I've gone buff with one guy's beard, which is so light, I'm not sure I'm happy with it. Right, I think what I might do is I might go buff, and then I will go...
Is this what I'm already... No, what am I using?
We use
Khaki drab, baby.
I'll go red brown for the other guy.
Bit of khaki.
So I've moved on to doing my guys' beards and stuff. So
I don't think I can do that
off.
with an airbrush. Not that.
It might not be very easy. There we go, that's how you dry brush.
Oh, that looks really good, man.
Yeah.
Look at that, he looks like Prince. Or Symbol.
Not sure how well the camera's going to pick that up, but that's him with the beard. And why they call it flat earth, I'm assuming it's because it's the colour of the earth.
And it's a flat rather than a gloss.
Exactly. Rather than having any political connotations.
I don't think the Flat Earthers are a political organisation, are they? Because the Earth's either flat or it's round.
It's true or false, and it's been proven, I think.
Proven, you say?
That the Earth is round. Here we have the argument. Greg believes the Earth is flat.
No, Greg does not.
No, does it? No, he doesn't. But it's fun to see his reaction.
However, moon landings.
Here we go. There we go. I think my lips might be a little bit too light, so I might try a darker colour.
Man, they look really good. Yeah, it totally brings it alive, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I think we'll go flat flesh, I think is the colour I didn't use. It should be a bit darker. Yes, that's what I want. And then I'll just dab a tiny bit more of the beard colour.
Did you do your rear lights?
I haven't done them yet. I'm probably going to do them a bit closer to last. There we go.
He looks like Chuck Norris.
I know, he does look a bit like Chuck Norris. If Chuck Norris was out in the desert. There we go, and I'll do the same with this guy. Now, one final step for these guys. I'm going to grab a very sharp cocktail stick and find gloss white, and I'm going to do a small dot on where the eye sockets would be on my one guy who has his goggles up. So there we go. I've done some eye holes basically, or the whites of his eyes, and I'll let those definitely dry before I do the next step. So I'm just going to do the entire instrument panel and just put the panel liner over everything and see how that turns out. Try to dab it a little bit thicker. And there is my dashboard done with a little bit of the enamel wash to highlight those nice details.
Have we really got to make all of them fuel things up and whatnot?
Yeah, I made a start. So all of my fuel things have been done.
When did you do that?
I think I did it while I was waiting for you to catch up in the last video that we were
That's
doing.
not true. You filthy, vagrant liar.
And now I'm just adding a little bit more panel wash
Cheat.
onto the wheels.
There's definitely cheatage going on
I've
here.
definitely not cheated. I can show you the video if you want.
I need to make my gun. You know the one that you've made?
Oh yes, my little Vickers.
Yeah, now which one, where is it?
It should be on one of those sprues that remains.
We could probably switch the compressor off.
Yes, I can do that if I can reach. Where's the off button?
On the top there.
Ah.
Covered in paint, obviously.
Ah yes. From all the times you've furiously tried to turn it off when it goes out of control.
Attacks me.
Whereas a brush will never attack you.
Now, hang on. Is it this one? Oh, look, he's got two pointy guns on the front there.
Yeah, that's the Vickers I'm using.
Alright, I'm going to use that. But how come there's three of them then?
Rear. You got one that comes off the side.
One comes right off the old... I might as well paint that on the sprue, mightn't I?
You could do that. I was going to paint it because when you assemble the whole thing it looks like this. I've got mine here. I was just going to be able to hold it by the base or the structure that's
flap
holding it,
around.
and then yeah,
Like that.
yeah, or you can glue them in place.
Hang on then, where are those little round canisters that go on the top?
They are here. Well, I'm going to go flat aluminium and then use a lot of black to wash it down to make it darker. So I'm going to get a bit clear red. And I'm just going to dot it in the areas where the lights would be.
It's a lot easier painting stuff when it's on the sprue.
It is a lot easier, isn't it, Greg?
It kind of just stays where you put it.
There we go. So that's my lights. Just a couple little tiny drops of Tamiya X, 27 clear red. And that'll come up nice and glossy. All right, let's go blue eyes for this guy. Wait, is it possible to have like brownish hair but blue eyes? I feel like biologically we have to look into this.
I think it's possible.
Let me Google.
I think it's pretty rare. Yeah, I'm really not that fussed about guns.
Okay, blue. Well, I never really got into them particularly myself. I mean, I suppose it's cool shooting them, but I don't know. Personally, the only reason I know anything about them is because they're put on cooler things, like a plane or a tank. Well, that's him with blue eyes.
He looks a little bit startled.
He does look a little bit startled, but it's going to get a bit more subtle later on.
Is it? He's
Yeah.
like...
He's a bit like... Now I will use some black to do his, what would you call them, pupils?
Well, I mean, I'd call them pupils if you're referring to his pupils.
Well, I hope I'm referring to his pupils.
Are you talking about the bits right in the middle of his eyes?
Exactly.
Yeah, then you are referring to his pupils.
There we go. So that's all done, and now I'll just get a little bit of the dark flesh. So I'll kind of take away a lot of the white using this toothpick. And bam, looking a bit less startled, I think.
If you say so, my friend.
I would say so. A little bit hard to see, I think.
I think no longer startled now, sort of more like petrified.
Right. Now, let me show you a little trick. So I've got a bit of dust from my garden. A sieve. I'm just going to sieve it into there. That doesn't look too bad. And now I'll grab some PVA glue, the cocktail stick, and put it in the gap here, in the wheel arches, and just along the underside. Of the Jeep. Doesn't matter if there's a little bit on the side walls, but try to avoid getting it on the areas where you'll glue the wheels. A bit here. And this will make it all dirty on the underside. There we go.
Man, that's a lot of PVA. Does that dry clear?
It does dry clear. Probably going to need a bit more of
Definitely
this.
a sneeze type joke then, but no. Imagine how annoyed you'd be.
Oh yeah. Achoo! Fortunately, it won't go anywhere the PVA glue isn't. It's trying to get it into the gaps.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what it's for, isn't it?
Yeah, if you put pressure on it, it kind of uses a capillary motion. So if you like, where's the spot you want a bit more?
Back of the seats.
Back of the seats. I can't see if you. So it kind of follows the lines, like so.
Ooh.
And that looks pretty good.
You did get a massive splodge on the panel though.
That's all right. Clean it off with enamel thinners. And like I said earlier, I think we were talking briefly about the advantages of enamel and acrylic. One great thing about the two is you can use them together and use thinners for one and it won't affect the other. So a lot of people like to use the enamels to weather the model to make dirt and grime streaks, because you can easily put it on and use the thinners to make it nice and thin, and if you put too much on, just get some thinner and you can wipe it off and it won't take away the acrylic layer on the underneath if you used acrylic for the camouflage. Voila. It looks like my Jeep has been a little bit dirty.
Also looked like it nearly was on the floor then.
Nearly.
Oh look. Yes, it
And
does
it'll
look
dry
dirty.
matte. So wipe a little bit of that excess dirt off. Not bad to have a bit. So,
Oh no!
oop, too much.
I just splashed some on the bonnet.
Ooh,
Just left a mark.
this stuff takes it clean off, and because you've used acrylic on the underside, it won't remove the
So
paint.
what's the difference, Luca, between X20 and X20A?
X20A is the thinner for acrylics and X20 is for enamels. So I'll let that dry. Now I'm going to apply some of that when Greg's finished. Oh, that was good timing. And that'll darken him up and highlight his details.
So, oh, you're just splodging it all over him?
Yep. And it'll flow into the cracks, and if there's any areas where it's too thick, I'll just use a little bit of thinner. I'm just gonna have to be careful not to put these guys down where I've put all that sand and grit. Otherwise they're gonna end up with sand glued to their butts, which is not the end of the world, but... just as that glue dries, might as well chuck a little bit extra in.
I can't decide whether to use your weathering technique or not.
It'll look quite hidden in the end, because once the wheels are on, it'll kind of end up looking a bit darker.
Pretty realistic.
And then the wheels will get a bit of weathering themselves, but I'll use the paint and the weathering powders for that once they are proper dry. So yeah, these wheels are going to be a pain.
So why, Luca Sprues,
Yes.
did they supply us with wheels that don't fit it? Luca Sprues, look.
Let's see.
Because I guarantee
This might be the
to you
solution.
that is the centre thing for the wheel. You can't
We'll have to go back.
I can't work out the instructions, but obviously...
Ah!
B21.
And they're supposed to go inside the wheels. Oh
epic.
no. There we go. Epic fail from Luca Sprues. That explains why the fit was so bad. Right.
Yeah.
So now you would either have to... Well,
I'm going to snip it off the sprue. And I bet you can't...
I'm going to do the same, and I'm going to have to...
It's not going to go in there, look.
Yeah, we're going to have to pull the back piece out, which is...
That sits on there like that, and then you could just have like turbo wideys on.
Or if you kind of cut the upper part here.
Yeah, 'cause that's just
He's going to put wideys on.
No, I'm not going to, because that makes it look just as bad as if you didn't bother.
I'm going to try and cut some of the rear piece out. And the ones where it won't come out.
And skillfully, like with the hands of a neurosurgeon,
Cut the trim away.
remove the trim.
I've removed half the trim so that it rests on the lower part. Like this. Oh, you've cut the whole neck around. You've cut the whole neck, like,
Just like, watch
off
this.
the trim. Yeah.
You don't need that one.
Cool.
I take this, I take this, I do this.
Nice. Well, that is going to fix everything. Look at that. Perfect. That looks much better, and that fits perfectly. Well, that explains the mystery as to why the wheels weren't fitting very well. Now I can chuck my wheels on with the peace of knowing that they fit.
With impunity.
Exactly. And suddenly, a Jeep. Look at that.
That's good, dude.
I'm going to make sure those wheels stay relatively flat because they could still move around a bit. And nothing looks worse on your model kit than when your wheels are like half bent and it's like, oh, it looks like he's broken the axle.
I'm going to let my centre bits dry on a bit more first.
I'm going to add some red brown onto the exhaust.
I'm going to ignore the fact that you put the lid back on the glue when I was halfway through doing my wheels.
I'm going to ignore that you said that and add some red brown to make the exhaust a bit more rusty. Right, well, I'm thinking what might be next for me is to add the accessories on. So why the hell not? Glue the machine guns to the model. Let me just double check I can still fit this guy in. Yeah. When they're in place. That way I can line them up perfectly so they sit on what we discovered were their mounts. Let me do that. So, this is our progress on the Jeeps now, so we're getting there. Yeah, we're having fun. Are you having fun?
I am actually.
Yeah.
I was reticent, and now I've done it, and especially, oh no, my wheel's gone a bit.
Oh no.
Mm.
The frustration and joy of model making.
Yeah, and I'm actually, now I've got my shading in, and I've done the bit of airbrushing. No, that wheel's not going to stay like that.
I think it's getting hit by the...
Yeah, I'm going to put it down.
Yeah, mine is...
I am very pleased with the progress. So phase 3 will be the accessories.
Yes, the accessories and final weathering, hopefully.
Yeah, thanks for all your tips, dude. I appreciate
Indeed.
it. And yeah, till next time.
Model on. I'm going to apply some of that when Greg's finished. Oh, that was good timing. All over my dudes.